Hello again everyone, Box Salesman here with a Summon Raging Spirits build that's pretty low budget. I don't even have a single 5-link in my gear and I'm easily doing level 74 maps like Jungle Valley, you see it right here actually. Um, I will explain to you my skill tree, my gear choices and my gems, but if you want to see just a demonstration of the build before judging if you actually want to waste your time on watching the full explanation, you can just skip to the end of the video. I will do this map here at the end of the video. It's a little bit of a mix of difficult affixes on a map that's actually a difficult boss fight as well, the museum map. So I kind of picked this map for it to be short enough so the video wouldn't get too long. But I'm already rambling again. So let's just get into the build explanation. I'm using both life and energy shield, which you will see in my passive choices. I'm also using 4 auras, so I need to go pretty heavily into the reduced mana reserve. So let's just get started with the tree right here. We're basically taking both energy shield and life, so we want to take an optimal path for these. We can't take only energy shield and we can't take only the life nodes. We try to take the combo nodes as much as possible because they're really strong. So at first we just go down this road for energy shield, then towards here for minion damage. Minion damage is really strong and is one of the only ways to buff the summon raging spirits, so we try to pick it up as much as possible. This node is a really strong node for leveling, but when I actually started going into maps I spec'd out this node and I only took it again after I got to level 87. So this node, really great for leveling. And again, good once you get to really high levels and don't really have anything else you need. Okay, then we just go towards here for some more energy shield. These 3 nodes are really efficient, 8%, 8%, 20%, that's just a no-brainer in my opinion. Then we actually went down towards here. Take this life and energy shield, useful for leveling. Towards here a jewel is really good, because it's one of the few places a summoner can get minion damage. Go towards here, again a really efficient energy shield node here. The plus 20 max energy shield again is really useful while leveling. So when leveling I kind of went this route right here. Skipped elemental equilibrium when I was leveling, just down here getting these skill duration nodes. These are really useful for summon raging spirits and are also really good for flamestorm, which is what I was using to level with, because summon raging spirits is not really great to level. You can make it work, especially with the Tabula Rasa, but if you're starting from 0, I recommend leveling with a Flame Totem, Flame Storm combo. And this skill duration will work well for leveling and for endgame. They're both really important. Then again, more minion damage here. Went down here to get some life. Again, more skill duration here for the Summon Raging Spirits. And these nodes are pretty strong as well. In only 2 points you can get a lot of reduced mana cost and increased mana. Once you get a 5-link or a 6-link you might want to invest in this point as well, but because I only have a 4-link I completely don't need it. Even when my Val haste is up I still don't run out of mana at all. Then we need to run a lot of auras, right? So we go down here as well, all the way down here for these really strong aura nodes. There's a jewel as well, again jewels are really good. This node is pretty strong as well, so it's not a horrible route to go. We need to go quite far. This might look like it's a bit of a waste, but there's a few things that make this not a waste. First, we simply need this to run the 4th aura. We can't run 4 auras without this. And we actually lack a lot of dexterity in the build. So going this route and taking all these dexterity nodes is definitely not a waste. It helps you a lot with getting your dexterity requirements. Then we also go up all the way here towards these aura nodes and also taking these life nodes. Because chaos damage actually surpasses our energy shields, these life nodes are really strong with some chaos resistance built in as well. Go up towards here for more minion damage and some minion attack speed as well. I also take 1% life regen right here. This is so my specters don't die. I don't really have a single way to heal them, except for the 0.2% leech, which isn't really enough. But this 1% basically keeps them alive, except against some really annoying bosses. Again, a really good energy shield node here. Then some efficient life nodes, some efficient mana nodes. And yeah, I kind of skipped over this one as well. This is another aura node that we take. And then up towards here, again even more reduced mana. So we're basically going very far for these aura nodes, but the only way to really buff our Summon Raging Spirits is minion damage and buffing the auras that buff the minions. The auras are really strong for them. So that's why we invest so heavily in this. Again here, max life and max energy shield, some efficient nodes. So that's why we take them. Eventually when you get even higher level you can fill out these. Once you need more mana, because you have a 6th link or something, then you can also take these 3 here. It's a mix of life and mana, very good, but the reason I didn't take it is because I don't need any mana. I can't run out of mana currently with a 4 link, so I didn't really invest into them yet. Yeah, that's about it for the 3. Oh yeah, also here we take some life regen. It's not a big deal, but it's quite efficient in my opinion, because you get both the max life here and a lot of mana regen, and you get some life regen as well. The life regen kind of helps when you have some chaos dot on you or desecrated ground. Those annoying things, makes it much easier to deal with it. And there's some life regen here as well. An important thing that I haven't really talked about yet is elemental equilibrium. What's really important about this is that minions do not trigger elemental equilibrium, but we do. So basically our minions do fire and cold damage, and some physical as well, but the elemental damages are fire and cold. So if we hit the enemy with a lightning spell, that means they will lose a lot of cold and fire resist. And when the minions hit it, they will not negate this effect because the minions don't trigger elemental equilibrium. So all you need to do is hit the pack once with a lightning spell, and bam, 50% resistance is off. Really useful. So that's it about the tree, so let me tell you why I use this tree and what skill combos I take. Okay. Since we just talked about elemental equilibrium, let me show you how we apply it. We use ball lightning with curse on hit, elemental weakness, and greater multiple projectiles. This elemental weakness is basically to lower the resist even more. We already lower it by 50%, this will make it go even lower. But if you want to stay alive, especially if you're playing hardcore, you can replace this with enfeeble. Elemental weakness is definitely not a requirement here and can be replaced with other things. Some people like temporal chains more than enfeeble, that's also an option. Greater multiple projectiles is just to make it cover a bigger area. Like if you see right here, we can basically cover the entire pack of monsters with greater multiple projectiles. And everything gets hit, everything gets cursed, and everything gets elemental equilibrium applied, all in one spell. Then for the Summon Raging Spirits themselves, these little guys, they need cast speed. Cast speed is probably the only way on the gear to actually increase your damage. Except for the gloves. The gloves actually have an option right here. Increased minion damage, yeah, right here. I can't apply it to my gloves right now, but this is like the only place where you can actually get the minion damage. Especially for some specific uniques, but all of those aren't really good for the Summon Raging Spirit build, so we'll basically go full rares really. Again, it's a budget build as well, so you just slap on whatever rares you find. But yeah, the Summon Raging Spirits. I'm only using a level 19 Summon Raging Spirit right now, but it is in a +2 socket of minion gems. If you're only using a 4 link, I really recommend that you put it in one of these helms. They're not that difficult to find. It's a pretty common roll on the rare helm, like every 10 helms or something has it, so just take whatever helm that has it. I'm using Melee Splash. Minion damage. Minion damage is actually more multiplier this patch, so it's really a no-brainer. And Spell Echo is also a no-brainer. Like, Spell Echo, Summon Raging Spirit, minion damage is the base 3. Like, you will always start with these 3. And then as a fourth, I take Melee Splash. Other people prefer to take Melee Physical or Added Fire before these two. But I actually like Melee Splash more because other allies cannot die is a really annoying affix for this build. And if you don't have Melee Splash, it becomes even more difficult to target the totem or whatever is giving you the other allies cannot die. I found Melee Splash to be way more consistent and way better at clearing packs as well. And the boss damage is still more than enough. So as a 5th or a 6th link, you can take melee physical damage and added fire damage. Also, if you're going with the non-budget version of this build, then you would basically be using a 6-link staff with +2 fire gems and +1 to level of gems. If you're going with that version, but that's a really expensive version of the build, then you can use the Empower gem. Empower is really good if you have the +1 to level of socketed gems. Okay. So I'm also using zombies and specters just as meat shields. These guys don't really do any damage. The summon raging spirits do all the damage. So these guys are just here for meat shields, which is also seen in the way how I link them. I link them to minion life, minion and totem elemental resist. This one is actually even more important than minion life, because it caps the minions their resist, which is really good. We don't take minion resist anywhere in the tree, so we really need the support gem, otherwise the zombies will just die instantly. Then of course Ray Zombie and Ray Spectre. As you see, the Spectre isn't linked to any damage, neither is the zombies, so they're just meat shields. The best Spectres to use for this build are actually Evangelists. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, from the Upper Scepter of the God. So ignore my Revenants that I'm using here, I've been testing them out a bit. They're nice damage, but we don't need damage. The Evangelist gives like this protective bubble that's way more useful, to be honest. Then, what am I also using? I'm using Flesh Offering and Val Haste. Flesh Offering is a great buff for minions. It's attack speed and movement speed. Especially the movement speed is often underrated, because it makes the summon raging spirits change their targets quicker. When they go from one target to another, it makes it much smoother and much more efficient. Then we use Val Haste. Val Haste is really strong because it both increases our own cast speed. More cast speed means we summon more raging spirits in the same time. And it also buffs the summon raging spirits. It makes them move faster and attack faster. Val Haste is really great. It more than doubles the DPS just by turning on Val Haste. We basically use this thing to kill the unique bosses really, really easily. And then increased duration, because Val Haste is a pretty short basic duration, only 6 seconds, and you need a lot of souls to use it. So we try to increase the duration as much as possible. Flash Offering also benefits from increased duration, but it's not that important to link it to it, but might as well, you know. We have the free socket, and we're using Flash Offering anyway, might as well link it to increased duration. The reason why I say it's not that useful is because you won't really ever fight on the same spot for longer than 3 seconds. Well, actually, I have to say longer than 6 seconds, because we already have almost 100% increased duration in the tree. So these things already lost at least 6 seconds, and everything will be dead in those 6 seconds. So it's not that great, but you might get like some beyond unique or whatever, something that takes much longer, so it's not useless. Then, about the auras. We use Hatred linked to Generosity. You have to link this to Generosity. We don't have any benefit from Hatred ourselves, so we just want to buff the effect of the aura for our minions. This is also really useful for Cyclone players, because we have Generosity making the Hatreds much better for them. And on top of that, we have a lot of increased effect of auras in the tree as well. So anyone playing a physical build, I said a Cycloner, but anybody playing a physical build will really love you for running Generosity Hatred. Then I'm using Summon Chaos Golem with Minion Life, but that's kind of useless, to be honest. It's just because I had free sockets. And we basically, with the free sockets, we have room for 1 Chaos Golem or Convocation. Some people prefer running Convocation. I'm a lazy bastard, so I don't run it. Convocation is a spell that recalls all your minions towards you. It can be really useful, but again, I'm a lazy bastard, so I'm just using the Chaos Golem to have an extra body and to have 4% additional damage reduction. You don't really need to link this to minion life. You can just resummon it if it dies. It has a lot of life anyway. But because I don't have the 6 link yet, I still have room to run the Chaos Golem. Okay, then we're also using Discipline. This is not linked to Generosity because we really only care about our own energy shield. The minions don't really need energy shield. And we also use Haste. Again, not linked to Generosity, because we actually benefit from Haste a lot ourselves. We run faster, we cast faster, so again, casting faster is more summon Raging Spirits in the same time, which will lead to more damage. Then we also use Clarity linked to Blood Magic. Because we have a lot of reserved mana reductions, it doesn't actually take that much life. As you can see here, the Clarity is level 19, the Blood Magic is also level 19, and it's only reserving 345 life, and it's giving a lot of mana regen. So I think it's definitely worth it to sacrifice a little bit of life to make mana management so much easier. I think that was all the gem choices that I've taken so far. So yeah, again, this summon Chaos Golem with minion life isn't really needed. So if you want to use a 6-link, either on the staff or on a chest, then you can just drop the minion life, the summon Chaos Golem, and that's the 2 free slots you need to attach 2 extra links to this one. Then about using a 6-link in the chest or in a staff. That's basically, if you've seen another build, you will always see people using a 6-link staff. I actually don't really like this because it goes full offensive. Okay, it makes your summon Raging Spirits complete beasts that will destroy everything, but honestly I think it's a bit overkill, because I just did a jungle valley and I killed the boss in like 1.5 seconds. It spawned, it dropped down to the floor, and it died. That's with a 4-link. That's with no quality on my gems. That's with my gems not max level yet. So why would you need a 6-link staff with +2 +1 that costs like 30 exalts? I think I might just keep using my shield. Just stay defensive, keep my energy shield really high. But again, that's a consideration for if you have some really expensive gear. And it's also depending on whether you want to go full offensive or if you want to be more tanky. So about the gear choices, it's pretty simple. You basically want energy shield and life, because we're a hybrid build with energy shield and life. Chaos resistance is also really valuable. That's why we take it in the 3 at one point as well, because the most dangerous thing for this build is still chaos damage. Although people might see like, oh my god, 3k life and it passes energy shield, that's going to be horrible. But in reality, most of the big chaos attacks actually do both physical and chaos damage. So it's not like we only have 3k life against chaos damage, because the physical part will hit the shield and the chaos part will hit the life. And the monsters that do have pure chaos damage are usually dots and aren't really big hits. So if you just react fast enough, if you use your health potions, then you will be fine. As you see, we're using 2 instant recovery health potions. So yeah, just basically pick energy shield and life on everything. This is actually really cheap gear. Most of it is self-found, like 3 items are bought and nothing is bought for more than 10 chaos or something. This one was a really good buy. I think I got this for, yeah, 8 chaos or something. It's a really good buy in my opinion. High energy shield, life, chaos resist. Then again, just this one is like pretty shitty energy shield. There's not even life on here. I'm just using what I found right here. So yeah, as you can see, the gear isn't that awesome. I'm trying to take cast speed in as many places as possible. That's why the new ones are really good. The ones with the cast speed instead of spell damage. Because spell damage does nothing for this build. I haven't really said it yet, but we do not benefit from spell damage. We do not benefit from increased fire damage, stuff like that. These minions only benefit from minion damage and auras. But by having cast speed, we get more minions, so that's also a way to buff them. Okay, I think that's about it for the gear, the skill choices. Or maybe I should go over my flasks quickly. I'm using 2 instant recoveries, so I can react to chaos damage when it's needed. And the immunity ones are pretty important. We use immunity to ignite. Ignite isn't really dangerous, but it stops us from regenerating energy shield. While we're ignited, we're constantly taking damage, so our energy shield is being delayed from recovery. That's why it's really important to take off the ignite as soon as possible. Then, same with bleeding, it's constantly doing damage, and it's actually really dangerous as well. It does a lot of damage. So we want to take it off so our energy shield can start recharging again. Then immunity to freeze and chill, that's pretty much a no-brainer on most of the builds. Strong boxes, freeze on activate, you need one of these flasks. Also for some of the map bosses. Then, immunity to curses is also pretty much a no-brainer on every build. And this one is kinda random, I still haven't found a better one. On this last one, I might actually prefer a granite flask to get some armor. Maybe a granite flask with 100% increased armor on it as well. It might help a bit, but I like to run 2 quicksilvers because I like to keep going fast. But it might be better to use something else here. Maybe even a chaos resist flask, granite flask, evasion flask. Use whatever you want for the 5th one. Just make sure you have remove curses, remove freeze, remove bleeding, and removes ignite and burning. Because these things will delay your energy shield recovery, and freeze is just deadly. So I think that's it for the build explanation, so let's just put in this museum map and show you guys how the build works. As you will see, I'll try to often throw my ball lightning on everything, to just debuff it to make the resist drop. But sometimes I might not do it because stuff will die fast enough already. Okay, we're getting in here. Do some flesh offering, consume some corpses, and as you can see, remember this is a 4-link, right? A 4-link with level 19 gems without quality. I see how it's just shredding everything. I'm not gonna pick the rares now because I want to keep this video as short as possible and don't want to have to go vendor everything. So let's hope an Exalt drops. I am going to pick up an Exalt, though I don't care if the video is going to take 1 second longer. I'm not leaving an Exalt on the ground. So as you can see, it just melts everything, and we basically stay behind the mobs, and their Val haste is on, and now the real stuff begins. As you can see, the Beyond is actually spawning a lot of nice mobs, and they spawn, and they die. That's how efficient it is. See, Val haste still has 2 seconds, and bam, it's up again already. We just go really fast. Wrongbox, I don't care, we just kill this. There's a Rogue Exile in here. Again, no problem. Kill. You see this DPS? With a 4-link. Oh, the Scholar. Oh, damn it, that was actually a Cartographers, I didn't realize. Okay, I should have rolled this one. That's actually the first Cartographers I get in this entire league at level 87. I didn't actually Okay, typical. Streamer RNG confirmed. I'm not actually streaming right now, I'm just making a video, but man, streamer RNG confirmed. Of course I was too stupid to actually realize. Yeah, I have to warn you guys, when I'm filming something, I play like an idiot. I'm not paying attention to anything, I'm just face rolling. That's also why I didn't like do a more difficult map, because I might just completely mess up. Although this build has been really safe so far, there's really nothing that can kill me if I stand behind my minions. The damage is just too insane for anything to get through your minions. Now let's find the museum map boss. I once saw a museum map boss guide on YouTube, some guy made it and he almost died several times. It's a really annoying boss. Val haste is back up, so let's destroy everything again. This is also really great for speed farming some of the lower maps, because you will have Val haste up permanently. As you can see, I found the boss, but I'm actually going to get my Val haste ready first, because Val haste is really great for bosses. So I'm going to kill a few things first, and then I'll get to the boss. As you saw, my life is dropping a bit from the chaos damage, but really, the flask will take care of that. The live region will as well. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, let's quickly do the boss then. This extra unique damage on there. Shocking ground. But we just curse them, we pop the Raging Spirits, and we stand back and wait. The Raging Spirits will destroy everything. And there goes the boss. That's it. This is how efficient the build is, with a 4-link. I know I keep repeating that I'm using a 4-link, I shouldn't rub it in so much, but yeah, this is why I think using the 6 link staff with the +2/+1 isn't really necessary anymore. You see the damage right here. Level 19, it's enough. I think you can just go budget version. You can keep it in a 4 link, or if you eventually find a 6 link chest, you can put it in there and keep using an energy shield so you get really defensive and really safe. Maybe even get some chaos resist on there. Yeah, I'm really loving this build in this league. Really loving it. And I hope you guys enjoy it as well. And bye.